Ukraine says Russian troops have shelled Europe's largest nuclear power station in Ukraine. The country's foreign minister says a fire has broken out at the Zaporizhzhia plant. The plant accounts for about 1/4 of Ukraine's power generation. Reports say background radiation levels remain unchanged. Earlier, the UN nuclear watchdog called on the military forces to refrain from violence near the nuclear power plant. Meanwhile, Russian forces have captured a building of the Kherson regional administration in southern Ukraine. The UN says over 1 million people have left the country. Nawied Jabarkhyl has more details from Lviv in western Ukraine.
The human cost is becoming plain to see by the hour. Ukrainian officials say that Russian artillery strikes and shelling and bombardment is causing a siege of major cities all across the country. In Mariupol in the south, local officials there say that there is no food, there's no water, there's no power, there's no electricity, and you can probably see from when I'm talking just how cold it currently is in this part of the world. A city of more than 400,000 people strategically located in the south, a port city close to Crimea. Aside from that, further north in Kharkiv, there are 1.5 million people there experiencing heavy bombing and artillery strikes as well from the air. That's close to the Russian border, so you think strategically it would be one that the Russians try to secure quite soon. Kiev, the capital, is another area that's experiencing some bombing. Again, reports overnight of buildings being hit, some of those housing civilians, according to social media reports that we've seen, the videos coming out, lots of them day by day, as well as what Ukrainian officials are saying. What appears to be the priority now for the government of Volodymyr Zelensky is to try and find an immediate ceasefire. Further south in the country, Kherson has become the first city to fall into Russian hands. It's a city of more than 130,000 people, and again strategically located as a port in the south of the country. Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, he's urging for a ceasefire as soon as possible. Some people on the streets here, he's become a symbol of resistance, comparing him to Che Guevara. He has told Vladimir Putin he wants to meet face to face to stop this war as soon as possible, and had this message for the rest of the world.
Ukraine doesn't want to be covered by the dead bodies of soldiers. Go home with your whole army. Tell your officers that you want to live, that you don't want to die but to live. We need to stop the war and restore peace as soon as possible.
The priority now for the Ukrainian side is to try and open up what they're calling humanitarian corridors. Many of them are coming to places like this, like Lviv, to try and get to the relative safety of the European Union. Countries like Poland, Hungary and Slovakia currently the top destinations for them. Those borders do remain open and people can go through with ease. Many from all across the country. We've seen people from Kiev come here, a lot of them places like Odessa as well, further east, trying to jump on trains, get cars, hitchhike however they can to save their children, to save their pets in some instances as well. Here's more from one person who had to flee the capital.
I go to the central station in Kiev yesterday at 12, and I try to find a place in train till 7 p.m. Kiev in every hour was more dangerous than before.
Utter scenes of desperation, of chaos in a lot of instances as well. And it's not just Ukrainians being impacted here. That's important to stress. We've met people from Nigeria, from Cameroon, from Vietnam, from India. More than 75,000 international students were studying here in Ukraine before this crisis happened, all of them trying to get out with very little direct diplomatic help from their governments. So the escalation of this war, not just pushing people out now, it's also causing real concern for those urban, densely populated areas and the civilian casualties that looks almost certain to rise.